So for those that I haven't met in person, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Judy Zulfikar. I am the PR chair for this year, and I'm going to turn it over to Dan Cortese, who's going to introduce himself.
I am Dan Cortese.
Cortese.
I know nobody can figure out, but I'm okay with that. So.
That's okay. I'm Judy Zulfikar. It gets mispronounced all the time too.
But yeah, I'm Dan Cortese. I am from the Rotary Club of Hemet. I am their PR chair, and I'm on the PR committee for the district, and I'm an assistant governor. So just trying to do it all.
Just busy man. So what we wanted to do today, and the topic of this particular one, is getting back to basics. So I really wanted to start out, I'd love each one of you to introduce yourselves and maybe talk a little bit about something that you are challenged with at this time or have a question with, because we want to address everybody's questions on this meeting so we can get some real productivity out of what we're doing today. So I'm going to just go by my screen. So Michelle, you're right next. If you can introduce and tell us what you're looking for today.
Oh, you're muted, Michelle.
Michelle Nobleman, I'm the president of the Palm Springs Club. I don't have a PR group right now, so that's why I'm here.
Awesome, thank you. So maybe we should be looking to see how we can add a PR person, correct?
Yeah, I had somebody offer, but they haven't stepped up yet.
Okay,
So.
well, we'll talk about ways to get somebody to step up and go. MJ, can you tell us about yourself and what you're looking for?
Sure. I'm president of the Crestline Lake Gregory Rotary Club, and I have somebody who is a PR chair, but he's out of town for months at a time. So I do all the posting on our Facebook page, on the district Facebook page. He hasn't yet made me an administrator of our page, so I can't share. I just repost, but that's okay. That's not a huge deal. So I try to get photos at every meeting and then put them up. And it surprises me, people I've never heard of who like those posts. It's exciting.
Well, good. Although your PR person that's out of town can do it from anywhere, so that might be a discussion we can have too. All right, Ruby, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Ruby Rivera. I'm Desert Hot Springs Rotary President, and we do have a PR person, new position this year, and he has a lot of experience. And then I also just have a really engaged team that is mostly also on social media. So I think that we will have a lot of success there. Where we really could use more work is our website. It has not been active or utilized in a long time. And we're just using 2 social media platforms right now. So maybe there's room for growth there.
Awesome. Are you currently using DACDB at all?
I mean, I will share a newsletter that we've created on there, but that's probably the most. Most of our members don't log into it, so
okay. No worries, because that'll be a question that'll help on that. Shirley.
Yes, Shirley Coates. I'm the president of Riverside East Rotary, and I'm on today to try to expand our reach on social media. But currently, we're just using Facebook for the district webpage. We have a PR person, however, he is really busy too. So I'm trying to learn more about how I can help and do more postings and maybe expand to Instagram as well, if that's possible.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you for coming. Laura, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a challenge that you're trying to work on for your PR, for your club? You're on mute, Laura.
Laura Leindecker, and I do communications. I have a communications major, and I'm also public relations in my life. So I'm in Banning, that's where we're from, and we're not always, okay, it's supposed to be me, but we kind of divide it. So I'm not always there. So it's social media, newspaper also. So we have other people that also fill in when I'm just not doing it because we're all so busy. So communications, public relations is diversified. It's just not one avenue. So we're diversifying our communications, I would say.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Amberly, I know you're brand new to Rotary, so you'll be getting used to introducing yourself a lot. And tell us what you're looking for today.
Hi, my name is Amber Lee. I'm gonna be with the Rotary in Desert Hot Springs. I think social media is taking off and taking over the world. So I think just anything to improve those skills. I did Google the other day, like peak times to post on social media. So anything with social media, I am willing to learn.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming today. Jackie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jackie Chapman. I'm from the Rotary Club of Desert Hot Springs, and I just followed my president into this room because that's what we do in Rotary. Sometimes we just follow our president. But as community service chair, definitely getting more information on how to promote our events and make them more visible within our community instead of the Facebook post, oh, I didn't know that was happening until after. So we're trying to minimize we didn't know your event was happening until after it happened effect. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Stephen, thank you for coming. Can you introduce yourself?
Well, yes, Stephen Levine, Palm Springs Sun Up, the Morning Club. Actually, I'd like to thank you, Judy and Dan, excuse me, who did review our website several months ago and said, I can't improve it and I want to. Always working on it. And by the way, Desert Hot Springs, you did have somebody about 5-6 years ago who had a media company who did actually, I tutored with him to learn more about DACDB and the website. So if, I don't know if he's still a member of your club, but he was in the media business. And I'm always willing to learn. So that's why I'm here. Hi, Michelle.
All right. And Frankie.
Hi, Frankie Espinoza. I am with Desert Hot Springs Rotary, and I'm here also following my president. And also I want to see how we could reach out more PR, like still going in person. I feel like old school. I know social media, we're growing, but as Jackie said, we don't want people to say, oh, we didn't know about that event until after.
Awesome. Awesome. Wonderful. Well, you guys have given me some really great things to focus on. And that's what I want to make sure to do is really, again, touch base with what you're looking for so that we get some benefit out of this conversation. So first off, I'm going to, I think, tackle the website question. So by a raise of hands, how many of you have an updated website? Okay. That's always a good place to start. How many of you have DACDB have DACDB with your club or using club DACDB? Okay. Is anybody using Club Runner? No. Okay. So we're going to start there. As you may know, and I'm going to share my screen a little bit here and there, and forgive me for the bouncing around. And I'm going to also open it up so Dan can share periodically as well. The district actually just went through this exact issue with trying to make sure that we have a functional website. So what I'm going to show you is one option to go, but I'm also going to let you know that you have an even simpler option. Both of them have to do with DACDB. So what you're looking at on the district website, and I encourage you guys, if you haven't had a chance to come and take a look at the website, there's a tremendous amount of information. I wish I would have done a screenshot of what it looked like before we got onto it. And before past District Governor Dan Goodrich really worked hard with the entire team. And we basically actually pulled this from another club in another district that was doing such a great job. And then we fine-tuned it to ourselves. So never feel bad about, stealing from somebody else. What you're looking at is a WordPress site. And behind the WordPress site, it's fed with information from DACDB. So I know this may or may not make a lot of sense, but the reason that DACDB is important is DACDB is the database. I'm going to show you Temecula's website, Rotary Club of Temecula, to kind of show you a difference. DACDB actually allows you to build a site similar to this one. Rotary Club of Temecula does not use a WordPress site. It uses the tools that are right within DACDB. And what it does is it will pull like all the data for your president, president-elect, secretary, all that, the articles that you're using for your newsletter. If you're doing a newsletter, it pulls if you have your calendar updated in DACDB, it'll pull the dates from your calendar. This is to those people like Jackie and Frankie who were talked about, well, nobody knows what our events are. We found that the best way for people to know about your events is try to get them on a calendar that everybody can see as soon as possible and as far ahead as possible. This allows them to, and we'll talk about doing that in social media too, but this allows people to look ahead, plan ahead, etc. So I'm not going to go into the super technical part of how that works, but I will tell you this. You have a tremendous resource in past district governor, Dan Goodrich. He will actually get on a one-on-one with you or whomever you put in charge of creating your website and help walk you through how to create it's called Easy and Beautiful. It's done right through DACDB, how you can create an easy and beautiful website. I would recommend for those that don't have a website at all, to start there because it's pretty simple. Simple is in air quotes here because I know how to work with technology, but don't do it every day. And a lot of people in our clubs or in our volunteer positions are in that very boat. But I would tell you that you have a tremendous resource, both through Michael Soden and Dan Goodrich. We can set you up with an appointment and he can help walk you through at least getting a website live and showing you how to keep current information. Putting information into the calendar on DACDB will make it be able to flow onto your website and it'll look presentable. There's the two differences. The WordPress site is a lot more involved, but the DACDB site is less involved. The next level up would be to do a WordPress site, in which case you can, if your club wants to invest, or if you have someone in your club that knows how to program in WordPress, those are the two ways you might want to approach that. Dan, I'm going to turn it over to you, see if you want to add anything to those two comments.
No, I was just, in my head, I was just thinking that I think it's important that to take Dan's classes. Dan is going to offer a lot of information pretty soon. I don't know if he's got any specific dates set up yet, but Dan is a wizard at the DACDB stuff. And a lot of times me as the public image chair for our club and the kind of like the content developer for the district, we work together on everything. So I'm constantly feeding him, information that helps him build stuff. But he's the guy that's got all the behind the scenes stuff with DACDB figured out. So he's just a great resource. So when he becomes available with his classes, don't miss him.
And then I'm gonna, can you do me a favor, Dan Cortesi? I'm gonna keep saying your name entirely so I do not mispronounce it. Could you put Dan Goodrich's email into the chat so everybody can have it? I highly recommend you reach out because this is a really important part of your communication structure. Having that base of information that is up to date and correct will take you miles and miles ahead when you're looking at trying to communicate to your club and to your community specifically about the different events that you have. Any questions on that before I go to the next thing? No, I scared. Don't be afraid to use DACDB. I know it's not as hard as it seems. So the next thing I would, yeah.
Is there a charge for us to use the website function on DACDB? And if there is, do you know what it is?
I don't believe there's a charge on the basic one. If you wanted to upgrade to the WordPress, then there is a bit of a charge. It's not very much. I think, it's like $500 or $800, but I don't quote me on that. You'd need to talk to Michael Soden about that. But no, there's not a charge for the website as it is with your DACDB service.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I'm going to address, while we're on the topic of events, another area where you can make sure that you are making sure the world knows about what you have. And you can do this right now, because if I understood correctly, pretty much everybody on this call has a Facebook page. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to take you to the Rotary District 5330 page. Now, there is a difference between a group page and an organization page, and we discovered this as we were really preparing the district. The group page is something that you might use where it's sort of an internal group. You allow people to be welcomed into the group, but there are certain features on the group page that are on the organization page that are not available on the group page. So when you're setting up, you're looking for the nonprofit organization. If you do not have that set up and you have a group, that's okay. You can set up an organization page as well and sort of drive people to it as you are doing these different events. And events is one of the things that the organization page has that the group page doesn't. So when you are trying to have a fundraiser, or you're going to have a workshop, or you're having any kind of event, one of the nice things about setting it up into in Facebook is it's easy to share. So for example, if I want to invite people to this foundation gala, I can literally go into invite and it pulls up all my friends. Now, most of these people I have already invited because I bombarded them with it. But say, for example, here's a person that I haven't invited. It's pretty simple. I can just click a button and this will invite them. Now, keep in mind, let me get some things out of the way here. Keep in mind that when you are inviting, you're only going to be able to invite from your personal contact list in Facebook. This is why it's super important to have multiple people that are involved in promoting your events, because I'm only going to be able to invite all the people that I know. But if each one of us are inviting people that we know, that circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger because we each have a different level of contact lists. So you can invite, you can also send a link, you can share a link, you can share it to your page, share an event. So we use the event functionality on Facebook very, very much at the district level. And I also in PR and marketing. And so this is something that we use regularly and often to help promote events. So I'm going to stop sharing and just ask, how many of you are currently using the event function on Facebook to promote and share your events? Michelle? Okay. Steve? Good. So Michelle and Steve, maybe you can talk to the success that you have had or any questions that you might have about that.
Well, again, since we don't have a PR group right now, it's just whenever somebody who has access thinks about it, we throw our latest activities up there. So but it's pretty easy. It's easy to manage.
It's pretty easy to set up an event. And then I think the biggest thing is really getting a few people, especially if everyone on your board starts sharing your events, then you'll be able to get a far greater reach with your audience. I think what happens a lot of times, people say, well, I put the event on Facebook and nobody did anything. It didn't go anywhere. It won't go anywhere unless you drive the engagement through sharing and engaging and inviting. That's when it really starts to grow.
Yeah. And if I could join in, I agree with Michelle. You know, we have 3 people on our team, Bill Chase, Kevin Taylor, and myself. Bill does our bulletin, which goes out actually to almost 500 people. And our club is only 36. And then Kevin will do social media. I do the website. But if I can add in that a good way of tracking, which we do, we actually have 2 websites, one for the club you see behind me, and then one for our main event, is that we use analytics. We use Google Analytics, which goes worldwide, and we'd be surprised how accurate it is. You got to be able to knock out the stuff where you may have been spammed or whatever when you see 500 people hit you one day. But a good way to see who's doing something is going to analytics.
I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because let me see if I can get into our analytics. Actually, I'm going to keep talking, and then I'm going to have Dan, you know how to get into the analytics for our Facebook? I may not be able to because I'm not on it here. You also can do the analytics on, there we go, on your Facebook. So if you're looking for insights, that's where it'll show you that how many people have been looking at your various events, at your page entirely. The insights get moved around regularly, so I am struggling to find it on the fly, of course. But yes, analytics are very helpful. I mean, here we go. I had it covered up with all of your faces. The insights really help you understand how many people that you've reached. So for example, on this particular event, we have reached 597 in the last 7 days. We've had 14 responses. When we hit the see more, it'll also tell us the age and gender of those that are responding, where they're responding from. So HIMIT has been extremely active, not surprising since Dan is the one that is helping promote this out. And then of course Temecula, because I'm right behind him. So you can go into some really specific analytics based upon that. And I don't need to be in Sweet Cheeks studio. This is another challenge of having multiple pages that we manage. Let me get back on this one. So yes, all of your analytics are available for you to take a look at under Insights. And you can see here on this page, it's in a different place. So we've reached 3,264 people. And it shows our engagements, et cetera, and it will break it down to exactly how many people that we have reached. The reason this post has reached so many more people is because we did an ad. I don't know that I'm going to get into ads today because I really want to focus on the basics. But what I'd love to do is get you guys all up and get your Facebook pages up and current, get your websites up and current. And then what we will do is we will go into more in-depth conversations about other things that we can do to help enhance. But we need to make sure we hit the basics and get the baseline and that foundation nice and solid so that then you can build upon that and carry it on for the next person. I'd like to stop here for just a second and welcome Phil. Phil, welcome to the workshop. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us why you're here today?
Well, I'm Phil Bremenstuhl. I happen to be the current president of the Downtown Rotary Club, Riverside. We're challenged, as many clubs are, by an aging membership, and we are not generally facile with the concept, as Judy was just talking about sharing. And our members, what I would like to, the analytics that you were speaking of, for me, I'm not the PR guy, but we have our PR guy just resigned because it was taking too much time. So what I'm looking at is using our website as our PR program, and the Facebook is kind of keeping our members engaged. How do you feel about that, Judy?
Well, I think, and that's kind of what we're talking about, that you need both. Website is a great place to make sure that you have the current information, most up to date. It's a resource for your members and non-members alike to go to find information about your club. I cannot express more how important it is to have that data up to date, because people will find you. You guys, many of you are presidents. I'll tell you that I put my phone number on our website for Temecula Noon Rotary, and it was in a place that I couldn't remember where to go back and change it out. And I still today, into the second year of not being president, where I'll get random phone calls. You know, the other day it was a grandmother who needed to have her granddaughter have some PE clothes, and she was calling to see if the Rotary Club could help. And we did. I mean, we have the Bridge Committee can help them, but it's a serious resource that not only your members are looking at, but that your club, that your community is looking at. So getting that up, getting it up to date is really critical. I'm going to welcome you, Linda. Linda, do you want to introduce yourself?
Can I just jump in for 1 second after Linda introduces herself?
Sure.
Hi, Judy. I'm sorry I was late getting home from work.
No worries, no worries.
Linda Hanley with the San Gorgonio Pass Rotary Club, the president, and I have managed our Facebook page for several years, and I've now turned it over to one of our members. And Laura's on here from our club too, and she's my PR person that's handling all the media and all of that stuff. But I think we're going to get it up and going pretty soon here. We're
Good.
on Instagram as well.
Excellent.
So, and we do get hits off that all the time. And when I do an event, like we do a huge event in April, and I always put it out on our Facebook page as an invite. I find it works a lot better to do it as an invite and an actual event.
Event better than a post. Jackie, go ahead.
So I was just going to suggest, and our club hasn't followed through on this, but you can set up like a Google phone number that can pass from president to president or person to person. So when you have your printed material, you don't have to redo them every year to have the current president or current phone number. So a Google number would work well for that.
Yes. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to finish off with on analytics. One of the main things I look for is for our international project, which is Project Peanut Butter, which I think most of you know about. But anyway, I can see where we're getting hit literally from around the world. We're looking at our site to find out more about that project. And it helps us with our outreach when we're working on global grants, where we may want to go with that. So, analytics has its good points, detailed, and I look at this stuff 3 times a week. So take it from there.
You're a numbers guy like me. I'm going to go back to finish answering Phil's question. So Phil, yes, the website is very important, but I would say in this day and age that Facebook and some of these social media channels are very helpful in getting the word out easily. It makes it easy for your members to share. And I totally hear you with some people at different ages aren't really typically, willing to share. I think that I will tell you statistically, 50 to 75-year-olds are the fastest growing audience on Facebook. And one of the reasons is they are out there looking at their grandchildren's pictures and they are all over Facebook. So they may be on Facebook, but maybe haven't had the chance to learn how to share, to invite. I know a lot of people do not know how to go into an event and invite others to join them. So I show that to them regularly. And sometimes, especially in our club, we've actually taken 5 minutes out of our club meeting to put it up on the screen and say, if you're in our event, this is how you invite your friends, because they have friends and family they'd like to invite, and maybe they just don't know how to do it.
There is an issue because we just had a change in leadership PR about administrating these pages. Can you help me with that, Judy?
I will tell you that I would suggest if Dan has some time to walk you through it. It's not an easy question. It should be easy. The person that had it before should be able to give you administrative access. Each and every one of you are going to have a unique situation. And I tell you, that is one of the hardest situations to deal with. And as presidents, when you're looking at turning over for your incoming president, please put that on your list to make sure that administrative privileges are given to the next person in line, because that is one of the hardest things. It's definitely a showstopper when you're trying to get in and get something done and you do not have administrative rights.
So was Dan Cortese going to say something about that?
Yeah, I can. What I think I'm going to do is maybe try to put like a step-by-step guide or something like that together, because it is confusing. It is frustrating. I'm dealing with situations in both Facebook and Instagram right now that can cause a big headache. So what I'll do is I'll put a step-by-step guide together and we'll get it out to you guys.
Thank you.
Speaking of grandbabies, I've got one in my background too, so I'll apologize in advance for the the little one. Okay, so I want to go ahead and ask, anybody have any additional questions on the Facebook and or website setup?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I evidently have access to, and we have the easy and beautiful setup. But I want to know where I start, because I'll set up something with Dan Goodrich, but I've got some time right now, in the next couple of weeks. So, is there a good, easy, hi, Steve.
Hi, call me. I'll take care of it.
Oh, yay.
Love you, Steve.
In the past, I have helped several clubs here in the Valley, and currently even helped our new district governor's club how to do certain things on Facebook. Not
fabulous.
Facebook, on the website. So Michelle, give me a call and
I'll find you.
You and I have a relationship. So
yep.
And Ruby, you might take advantage of Steve, because I think you were looking for that same thing, correct?
Yes, we're actually looking at different options. My club is debating whether or not to go with DocDB or a different format. So Ivan is our PR person, and I'm going to share that Temecula website with him and see if that sways him at all.
Yeah, the only thing I would say that, I come from building websites, so I prefer the ability and the beauty of a WordPress website. I'll tell you that. But from an organizational and transitional organizational standpoint, where you're rolling over from year to year, the consistency that DocDB offers is very, very helpful, because you don't have to go in and change everything. When you are putting in your new presidents and all your different club members, it automatically will repopulate the website with the current information on July 1st. And that alone is huge, because there's just that consistency. And I'll say that is a big part of what we're talking about throughout our PR messaging, is that the consistency is critical. The having that calendar updated regularly and having the correct information on your website and on your Facebook page is very critical. You don't have to have a lot of information. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but it does need to be correct. Okay, any other questions on that before I move to the next thing? Okay, I think one of the things that seems to be a recurring message as we're going through this is that it can't just be one person that handles your PR. I think a lot of times a lot of clubs have a PR chair, but you really need a PR committee. That needs to be 2 or 3 people minimum, so that you've got one person handling the website, one person handling Facebook and social media, and one person that doesn't maybe have any technical ability, but loves to go out and take pictures and make sure they're at every event and get videos and pictures, because those 3 things are critical for all areas. Dan, do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I totally agree, because this can easily become extremely time consuming. So as an example, we have a lot of meetings, we have a lot of AG meetings, we have district meetings. I mean, there's just tons of meetings in Rotary, but in the moment, I wasn't afraid to reach out to somebody who was actively taking pictures, right? And I'm not going to say I'm the best person to take pictures. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, you like to take pictures. Would you send them to me so I can use that content, for the future? And that's what I did. And it makes my life so much easier. If I can get the content, if we have the plan kind of written out, it makes my life easier. We have Tom Emery, who reposts, or shares information from different groups, in Rotary, Rotary International. He's just sharing content. He's just keeping it lively, so we have a lot of information on our pages. So I highly recommend getting as many people as possible and find their talents. I'm not the picture taker, but I can do something with your picture. Do that if you can, and utilize anybody who's interested. It becomes fun when the duties are kind of spread out. If you're getting piled on, it becomes too much work. So try to avoid that.
Thank you, Dan. And Dan is amazing. He makes everything look absolutely beautiful. We will have another workshop that we're going to be talking about different tools like Canva and such. But I'm going to get back to basics. And one of the things that Dan mentioned was a plan. And I'm going to show you something, and we're going to share this with you. It's called an editorial calendar. So give me just a second. Dan, why don't you talk about how you use the editorial calendar while I find it here in my file?
Okay, so how the editorial calendar is built, obviously you can utilize, a bunch of different ways of putting this together. We try to stick to some Rotary themes so we can get Rotary, the monthly theme information out there. So for membership month, we're going to put out videos that might relate to that, or just information. But it's kind of daily, we try to stay on top of posts. So Mondays, we try to feature, district staff. Tuesdays, we might go into a theme, for that month. Wednesdays, usually we get some information from our governor. So I can put videos out there. Thursdays, we thank somebody, which is we're just trying to spread the love around the district. Certain people that are kind of doing things that are outside of the ordinary. Fridays, I'm actually waiting for clubs to send me information, because I want to feature whatever you guys have going on in your club. It's not all about the district; it's about what's going on in each club. So we try to keep kind of on that path, and what that does is it makes it extremely easy to think of content each week. So it's a plan. It's made it very smooth. I thank Judy for putting this together all the time, because I know sometimes it's hard to just come up with something, especially if there's kind of a lull in maybe like club activity. But there's always something with Rotary that's out there, whether it's Rotary International or within the district, or something that's going on maybe in a neighboring club that you can share. So that's kind of what we just do, is just trying to get this information out on a consistent basis.
Awesome. And while I explain this, Dan, can you do me a favor and pull up Brand Central, and I'll give the share to you after I get done explaining the editorial calendar. So I will send this. I'll put this in the chat function. This example, you're welcome to use it. It's in Excel, so it's nothing super fancy. How this works is, like Dan was saying, we're going to look at what the month is, and it's broken out with the weeks. And then these little boxes, you can change out how you want to, for the information that's relevant to your club. However, I did put the theme for every month. So this is the Rotary International theme for every month. So July is transition month. August is membership. September is education and literacy, et cetera, et cetera. And so you can see that each week then I have information about that I want to focus on. So we focused on meeting District Governor Don, and then his tenants, what he's focused on is being relevant. So we kind of went through all the different things each week. We focused on what that meant to him, relevant. And we did an introduction on Mondays, at least for the first, actually, I think it goes almost through the entire year. We're doing an introduction of each one of the staff members. So this is something you could do. You could do an introduction of each one of your board members or your committee chairs, however you want to do that. And then on Tuesday, it's about the theme. So right now it's either about the theme from the district, or it also can be the theme from Rotary International. So that is just after we look at this editorial calendar, I will give it to Dan, and he'll talk to where you can grab a bunch of content, video content, pictures, information from the Rotary International website to fill in the blanks here. What's up Wednesdays? Wednesdays might be the time that you focus on events. That's kind of how we are doing it. We're using Wednesdays to be the day that we really focus on different events in the district. Again, like Dan was saying, we do Thank You Thursdays and Friday Focus. So you can make this your own, but I will tell you that this plan helps you and your PR person really know what to post when. Do you need to post every day? Maybe not. It may not be appropriate for your club, but this is at least a map, a roadmap of what you might want to post. You should be posting at least once a week. If you can post every day, it's even better. You can actually get really fancy and schedule these posts. So when you're looking at time management, the posts can be scheduled to where you do it on a Sunday afternoon and don't think about it for the rest of the week, because they'll just automatically come out. Again, I will attach this to the chat, and you guys can take a look at that. But before I do that, let me see if you guys have any questions about the editorial calendar. You like that? Does this make sense to you?
Can I, my question is, this is a full-time job I'm talking about. And I'm looking to do, when I write an article, or if someone are with pictures, how do I get that out of our, how can you help us promote that club event? Or that club, the PR for the club. We do a great job on the PR for the district, sharing what's going on in the district among the members. But what we're challenged by is getting the word out in Riverside about what the Rotary clubs in Riverside are doing. And that's where our membership, where our membership campaign is directed. And it's just a big job. We don't have the.
Dan, go ahead.
Real quick. Okay, so what I've done in Hemet, because that was kind of my thing when I was president. I never knew that Rotary really existed. I didn't know it was in our town. I never heard about any events, so I wanted to change that. The first thing I did was I started learning how to use Facebook and creating posts and stuff like that. But another key thing for me was liking groups within our area. So in our area, we have it's called Hemet Valley Incidents. It sounds like, yeah, they talk a lot about, oh, there was a car accident over here, but they also kind of throw in events too. But they have they have 70,000 people that like that group. So as soon as I post something to that group or share it to that group, that just went out to 70,000, hopefully, people. Hopefully, the majority are in the Hemet area. But I don't just stick to that one. I post it to Hemet News. I post it to the Hemet Scoop, the Hemet Chat, all of these different groups. And it just floods this whole area with Rotary information. So that's probably the easiest way to get it out there, aside from waiting for your members to share it, because that's tough. I don't know why it's so tough. but it is.
My
So,
understanding, Dan, was that when you do that, there's a charge for that.
no charges.
Well, at least
So-
the ones.
There's a couple of different things. I mean, you can do ads, but for what Dan's talking about, it's not an ad. You literally take the information, your article, and copy and paste it and as a post in these groups in your community. So for example, let me see if I can go find one for you so that we can really do an exact example.
If you could find one in Riverside, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll do that's it's always good to kind of see this in real life, which is why this is important. I'm just slow. So when you're searching, you would want to go up into this search bar here, and let's search Riverside. Let's just search for Riverside. So here you have a whole bunch of different pages, right? So let's look at Riverside, California Love. So people that love Riverside, California, they have 2,500 members. Here's what's going on in Riverside County. Oh, this is a good one. 187,000 members. You need to join this group. And when you join it, you would join either as yourself. They may require you to join it as an individual, not as an organization, but you join the group. Some of them will say why do you want to join this group? So let's see. You must name 3 cities within the county. This group is named. Who's the sheriff? They'll ask you some questions that are really relevant to that exact group so that they know that you're just not a spam bot trying to spam in there. But that's the group that you need to be a part of. And then once you get into that group, I'm going to just show you something that we're part of. Let's say Temecula. I have the Temecula Chamber of Commerce. Let's put that. So I'm following the Temecula Chamber of Commerce. When I want to tell the Temecula Chamber of Commerce something, I can write a comment. They don't allow posts. So let me find a different option. Some organizations won't let you have posts. Here's the Myriad Exchange. So when you get into one of these groups, you can put a post or be a part of a discussion. So here we go. I can write something in this about maybe an event that's coming up, and I can post a picture and or a video, and it'll go out to the 67,000 members of the Myriad Exchange. So that's a really great point, Dan, that you made, that you want to, because otherwise you're just talking to yourself. But if you push out this information on these other affinity groups, you're no longer just talking to yourself. Now you're talking to a greater audience. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what you might have to do is just, once you post something on your page, you go in as an individual and then share that post. And then once you hit the share button, it gives you options. Do you want to share it to a group? Do you want to share it to a page? Once you share it, click share it to a group, then it's going to give you a whole list of groups that you've liked or joined, and then you choose which ones you want the information to go to.
So I'm going to let Dan, why don't you take over the screen and do 2 things. Let's show them that specifically. And then I also want to show Rotary Brand Central, where you can get content that you can use on your website. And while he's doing that, did I allow you to share? Yeah. Okay. While he's doing that, I wanted to mention that, this doesn't have to be a full-time job. If you use some of the tools, you can do it, like I said, on a one day, organize it with your editorial calendar and schedule the posts. Then it can be something that doesn't take all day and all week and be a full-time job. It can become a full-time job, which is why sometimes breaking it up into little bits and pieces is much better.
Share. Is this what you asked me to do? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. So I've got all these pages. I've tried to like every Rotary club that I can find that has a group. But yeah, as soon as I want to share this, all I do is click Rotary Club of Hemet. Boom, all the information from that post right there is about to go onto the Hemet page, the Hemet group page. So it's pretty simple. Now, when I change to myself, all of a sudden I've got all of these other groups to go to. So if I want to go to Hemet Valley Incidents, that's going to go straight to the Hemet Valley Incidents. This has got the 72,000 people, I think. And all I have to do is hit post. Now, some of them will approve it. Most of them will approve it. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody that doesn't. So that's not a big deal. Just keep moving on to the next group. Don't keep that, from posting. So does that make sense? Does that help?
I think what you're saying too is that I'm going to get posts from the 72,000 people in that group too.
You could get comments on it, but usually a lot of times, like I recently posted our Oktoberfest, and I'm getting questions about the event, and it's not overwhelming. You'll get people that answer the questions for you. I've answered a few questions, but it's not overwhelming. I mostly get likes and shares out of posting that way.
Yeah, don't be afraid of the 72,000. I don't think it won't overwhelm you. And what a great opportunity for those 72,000 people to know a little bit of something about Rotary.
Exactly. I want to just mention one thing. I made a little clip for St. Patrick's Day. All it did was say, Happy St. Patrick's Day, had some music, and it was shared 160 times. I didn't expect that. I just thought, I'll put the information out there. Hey, let's celebrate, St. Patrick's Day. But people liked it. People used it as a way to say Happy St. Patrick's Day. A lot of Rotarians that, weren't on that list. But every person that was shared to, it said Rotary right at the very end. So it's sometimes unexpected things happen, but it can have a huge impact.
Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going on to the resource for content. And while Dan's looking that up, any questions about the sharing on the groups and so on and so forth?
Oh, yes, Judy, if I can make a comment.
Sure.
Steve, when you're doing stuff and you think you're going to put your own email or information out there, I would suggest you establish a second email just for that event. Like I have one just for Rotary at Gmail and a separate one for iCloud. So that way, when I'm promoting myself with Rotary out there, is that I used a Gmail account. So if you end up getting hacked, something happens, you could turn it off, you can change it. It doesn't affect your main account.
That's a good point, Stephen. I think I have probably 6 or 7 emails for that exact reason, because of different companies, different organizations that I work with, and each one of them keeps it all separate and organized. So great point. Thank you.
I personally have 5 email accounts, of which 3 are for Rotary.
All right, Dan, do you want to take us through Rotary Brand Central first? Where do we go to?
Yeah, so my Rotary brand, let me start over here real quick. No, I lost it. You're gonna come. This is the hard way. I just type in my Rotary Brand Center.
You could do, yeah, you could take them directly to that URL that you had. Just copy and paste that and put it in the chat.
Okay.
So the brand center is really helpful as Dan takes us through it. It not only has the correct way our logo should be used in every instance, but also a lot of pictures and videos and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so the easiest thing to do, well, you should probably always start with creating the correct logo. First, you go over to the logo templates. This is where you can create your club logo. Super simple. They've actually made it much easier than it used to be. You can decide on, let me just shrink this screen now so I can see things too. So all you have to do, you get a couple of options. You want the regular or simplified, that changes this part right here. Typically I just stick with the regular. Color options, you get the all white, you get the all black, you get the blue.
And this is important because a lot of times if you're doing a sign or something like that and you need it, I see this a lot where the Rotary logo is done incorrectly because they didn't know how to put it in white or black because of the different backgrounds. So it's nice that you can just come in here and get it done properly and then download the file and use it in whatever you need to use it on.
Yeah. So all you do is type in Club of Hemet. Boom, you're done. Download the file. You get PDF, JPEG, or PNG. I use PNG all the time because I don't need the background, and I put that on a lot of different things that I create. So super easy to do.
So PNG is really important if you're going to lay that logo over the top of something else.
Yeah.
That's the one you want to use. The PDF, it's going to give you that big white box, and the JPEG, it gives you the white box as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So PNG is the one you want to use if you're going to lay that logo over something else, over another picture or something like that on a brochure, etc.
Yeah. Outside of that, of course, there's the other types of logos that you can choose from. This is a cool lockup template where you can insert your partner or your sponsors. I've used that a couple times. Action groups. So Rotary, if you go through their brand information, it's very specific on how they want you to use it. So it's probably good to go through that information and find out how they want you to use it, how they don't want you to use it. I know there's a lot of clubs out there that have their custom made, logos. Typically they don't really want you to use those, but most clubs like our club, we use it internally. So we print it on stuff that we use. It's on our own personal Facebook page that we just discuss internal business on. But these are the types of logos that they want to be used outside. But you got a lot of logo options, and the templates are super easy to make. Obviously, you've got a ton of club resources, promotional material. It just depends on what you want to do, but it's all here. They do trifolds, backgrounds, you name it. And then you can always go over here and find the theme, of what you're looking for. If you wanted a different language, you can do that too.
So you don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to business cards or brochures or anything. You can start with one of their templates and get most of the data, and it has beautiful pictures, it's beautifully laid out, and then just add your personal data to it for your club.
Yep, I use this a lot in February. This has got everything you need for polio, all right here. So
it has even social media posts, correct?
Yeah, yep, social media posts.
Already pre-made.
Yep. So super easy, tons of information. Hopefully they updated some videos. I know these videos are getting a little old, but they're here. They have information that I've shared every year almost. Let's see here. People of action templates. You can overlay that graphic. That's pretty easy. You can utilize, your pictures from your own group, your own club. So that makes it kind of personal. Of course, you could utilize whatever they have here. Let's see. This is where I pull a lot of stuff from, and they're expanding this stuff too. So I know I recently took a survey. I wonder if all you guys got that too, but this was kind of my focus, was trying to tell Rotary, hey, we need more content on here because some of it was getting outdated. And now I'm starting to see that a lot of this is new already. So lots of good pictures to use.
So when we're talking about the editorial calendar where it's divided up into the different areas of focus for Rotary, then you don't have to go try to find pictures. It's right here on Brand Center where you can get video and photos that can go along with the posting on your website and or on social media.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then you got some videos and stuff too. So pretty much everything's on here. You just got to kind of look for it, go through it, and see what jumps out at you and what you think might be useful for your club. But it's easy to download, it downloads real quick into an MP4, and you just pull it and drag it over into your Facebook page and you're done.
All right, I know we're rolling up on an hour, and I did promise not to go over too much, so we're gonna just end up by first of all just sort of going around and asking, is there anything else that we need to follow up with, and also, was this useful to you? Because I want to make sure that what we're doing is useful, and if not, or even if it is, or if there's another topic that you would like us to cover, please let us know. So I'm going to kind of quickly go around the room. Steve, you want to start us off?
I think the final thing that Dan said was about the overlay, using that on the media. So I'm going to investigate more into that. Thank you, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. MJ, was this useful? Is there something else you need?
Oh, I think it was useful, and I need to figure out how to post in events as you suggested. So I'm going to take a look at that because we do have an event coming up next month.
I'd be happy to jump on to a Zoom with you and walk you through it. Either Dan or I, when we're available, can do that. So I'm opening that up to just let me know when you're getting ready, and we'll do that.
Thank you.
Ruby.
Yeah, I found it really useful, and I definitely want to visit that site that Dan was just showing us with the content already pre-made. And I'm curious to know if in that follow-up session we talked about Canva, if you'll be able to share some of the templates that are on the district Facebook page, if they were created in Canva and it's something we can, make a copy, make it our own and use them, that would be really helpful.
Yeah. That's awesome. We'll create a place for all of these to reside. Dan, I know we talked about it, but we never really finished that conversation on exactly where we want to put it. Dan has been amazing in creating beautiful things through Canva, and we're going to have an entire workshop just on Canva and the other tools that Dan is using. So keep an eye out for that. Phil.
Well, I thought it's useful, but I have to recruit some people to take over this job because, as I said, the person who was doing it found it was taking too much time away from his real work.
So I have a suggestion for you, and I've been really, really pulling this string for the last couple of weeks, and that is the local high schools and your community and other colleges in the area are often needing intern and or community service hours. Reach out to the schools and find out if they have anybody that's looking for an internship, and encourage them to get involved. Also, your Rotaract clubs. This is another resource for you guys to get somebody involved to help you with your PR. Okay, Michelle.
Okay, Canva is free for nonprofits, so yay. I'm just getting to know that software. Yeah, the PNG file, I didn't realize that you could overlay those. That's good to know. And I have a whole page of information, adding in other groups. I can do Facebook. Facebook's easy. And hooking up with Stephen to get a start on my website. I think we're cooking with gas.
Awesome. As we go through the year, we'll probably dive into a little bit more on the Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, then we're really getting into some serious stuff, but get that baseline and then we'll go to the next. Linda.
Yes, helpful for what I got in on. I already went in and shared. I didn't even think about sharing the gala event with all the groups that I'm part of in Beaumont, Cherry Valley, banning all of that. What's happening in Beaumont, Cherry Valley, several of those groups, I never thought to just share that with them. So it's out there now. While we were talking, I did that. And I have gone in, I've been on my brand control many, many times and have created our new website, our new logo, which I just got approved by our board. So I have a really great young man that's taking over our social media and going to redesign our website for us. So I was hoping he'd be on this call tonight, but I guess he couldn't make it. But Dan, I'd love him to put his head together with you because we need to come up to the 21st century and get things going. But thank you. This has been great.
Wonderful. Amber Lee, your thoughts?
I found the information useful. So I'm actually in charge of the school, my focus school, social media. So I think I'm going to take like the events and put that towards like the school events on their social media, Facebook. We're not too active on Instagram, so I guess just trying to create that algorithm. Also, I like the What's Up Wednesdays, Thank You Thursday, Focus Fridays. So I'm going to try to use that for my school.
Awesome. And Dan, can you put that editorial calendar in the chat for us, please? Jeff, I didn't see you come on, but welcome, and hopefully you got some benefit out of this.
Sadly, I got delayed, and I just joined right at the end. My first question is, I know that you're recording this, Judy. Is there when will the recording, or how will I know how to access the recording when it's available?
We will put it up on our district YouTube channel, so you can take a look, and usually it gets up there within the next couple of days.
Okay, that's great. And then just one comment that you made though about using high school resources. That's a great idea. Just for inspiration, our club, in addition to budgeting for prize money for our vocational services budget for our speech contest and our music contest, we also budget for an art contest. We use that art contest with high school students to design our t-shirt for our annual race. And this year we're going to expand that program quite a bit to have them also designing our flyers and all of our digital media as well. So the product that we've gotten out of the high school kids is unbelievable. And I'm super excited to be able to leverage that even more and to provide, funding and hours and some things that, help the high school kids as well. It's a great idea. It's a cool win-win situation. These guys and gals can do it in their sleep. So, it's a benefit to everyone. So it's awesome. And it's just a great collaboration. This is our t-shirt from last year. Love that. And this came from a high school student, so it's kind of broken up a little bit there. But this was done by a high school student. They do such a great job. It's really awesome. Good job. All right, Jackie.
It was great. I always like seeing Dan's work, so I'm happy to be part of this. But again, with the rest of our team here, I think we're going to be able to pull some information and definitely make our club more visible. So thank you. Awesome. And last but not least, Frankie.
I really like the Brand Center website. I like that we don't have to start completely from scratch. So I really appreciate that. And it's very interesting, the whole website in general. So I'm going to check that out, and thank you.
You're welcome. So once again, thank you guys all for coming. Take a look at the chat. There's some good resources in there. If there's anything you think about in the meantime, you can always reach out to Dan or myself. We're happy to help. Some of the things that we're going to be doing in the future, I mentioned Dan's going to do a whole session just on Canva and some of the other tools he uses. I'm going to break down the fundamentals of a Facebook fundraiser and help anybody that's looking to do some fun online fundraising. And there are several other topics that we're going to be going out as we go through the year. Anything that you want to know, send an email to me if you'd like a workshop that's just delved on one particular thing, and we'll be happy to take a look at it. So other than that, thank you again for all coming. We really appreciate it and glad to see you all, and good luck on promoting your club.
Thank you, Judy.